Originally Prince Khufu of ancient Egypt, the hero who would become known as Hawkman discovered an alien spacecraft from the planet Thanagar, powered by a mysterious anti-gravity element called nth metal. The unearthly energies of the metal transformed his soul, and he and his love princess Chaera were reincarnated over and over for centuries. Currently he is Carter Hall, archaeologist and adventurer. Prince Khufu lived during the reign of Ramesses II in the 19th dynasty of ancient Egypt. Khufu believed that his Ka, or soul, would not journey onto the land of the afterlife. Rather, his soul and that of his betrothed, Chaera, were fated to remain in the mortal world. As prophesied by the wizard Nabu, a spaceship landed in Egypt. Prince Khufu, Nabu, and the champion Taith Adam searched the desert, finally coming across the remains of a Thanagarian ship styled with a hawk-like motif. Taith Adam lifted the ship back to Khufu's palace, where it was studied inside the Temple of Horus at Urdu. The remaining nth metal was examined, and its most obvious property proves to be its ability to negate gravity. The remaining sample from the ship was melted and used to create several remarkable devices, including a scarab which allowed Khufu to fly, a deadly knife, and a battle glove referred to as the Claw of Horus. However, the metal also strengthened the souls of Khufu and Chaera, binding them together in their love and imprinting them with the collective knowledge of Thanagar. Although the villainous priest Hathset murdered the two with the knife of nth metal, their souls lived on in the mortal plane. Eventually, the soul of Prince Khufu was reborn as Carter Hall, an archaeologist active during the 1940s. After regaining the memories of his first and early life in Egypt, Hall used the hawk motif of the Egyptian god Horus to inspire his role as the original Hawkman. During the same period, his love Chaera was reborn as archaeologist Sherera Sanders. After the two met, she became Hawkgirl, fighting at Carter's side. They became founding members of the Justice Society of America, and Hawkman took the role of chairman. The pair reduced their activities in the early 1950s but became fully active again decades later when first Carter and then Shera joined the Justice League of America, while continuing to also work with the revived JSA. The two had a son, Hector Hall, who eventually became a founding member of Infinity Incorporated as the Silver Scarab, and later adopted the identity of the Sandman before becoming an incarnation of Dr. Fate. Following the event known as the Crisis on Infinite Earths, Hawkman and the JSA became trapped in a battle in an ever-repeating Ragnarok. The Norse god Odin tried unsuccessfully to give a crystal sphere containing this repeating Ragnarok to Dream, Lord of the Dreaming as a trade, knowing that Dream had by this time selected Carter's grandson, Daniel Hall, as his successor. Back on Earth meanwhile, others took up the mantles of Hawkman and Hawkwoman. First Thanagarian spy Fel Andar and his human wife, and then a more benevolent pair of Thanagarians. Years after they vanished, Hawkman and the JSA returned to the modern day when a primitive but super-powered tribe volunteered to substitute themselves in the Ragnarok cycle. Soon after, however, death seemingly found Carter once again during the events of Zero Hour. He and his wife Sherera seemingly merged with Kater Hole, a Thanagarian police officer who had succeeded Carter as Hawkman in his absence, as a new incarnation of Hawkman who briefly acted as host to the mysterious hawk god creature. This individual was active for a short time but soon lost his sanity and was banished to limbo. It was eventually revealed that Shira's soul had actually migrated to the body of her great niece, Kendra Saunders, who had committed suicide. Powers. Blessing. Carter Hall was a priest in a past life, and still possesses the ability to bless mundane objects. For example, by muttering a prayer in front of a building's sprinkler system, he was once able to convert the water into holy water in order to destroy a vampire. Divine empowerment. Hawkman was granted the ability to breathe underwater, by the god Poseidon. Reincarnation. The nth metal knife which murdered Hawkman in his original incarnation as Khufu had an unusual effect upon his soul and that of his lover Chaera, Hawkgirl. The pair are locked in a seemingly endless cycle of death and rebirth throughout the centuries. While not a superhuman power per se, this propensity for reincarnation has allowed Hawkman to cheat death and return to active duty in his current incarnation. Abilities. Expert combatant. Aside from being a part of the Justice Society of America, Hall was also a liaison, chairman and member of the Justice League of America. Due to Hall being affiliated with the League, he underwent combat training with them from the very start. Weaponry. Due to his multiple incarnations and having memories of all of his past lives, Khufu/Hall has become proficient in many types of weaponry. As a result, he is an expert with a wide array of archaic weapons from his past lives, including battle axes, maces, swords, spears and shields. As Nighthawk, he was a marksman with a pistol. In addition, Carter Hall is sometimes depicted handling futuristic technology. He has used a Thanagarian ship called the Bronodon, and during the Ranthanadar War used Ranyan hard light armor. Hawkman is even depicted using technologically advanced laser weaponry in a possible future. Reincarnated knowledge. Due to his many lives and vast amount of experience, Hall is a brilliant tactician, fierce warrior, and strong leader. At the same time, however, he is extremely intelligent, considered a leader in his field of history and archaeology, and expresses a deeply romantic side in relation to his beloved soulmate. Often, Carter finds it difficult to balance between the barbarian of his past lives and the gentleman of his current incarnation. He also has an extremely innovative approach to science and technology. Science. In the summer of 1942, Hawkman invented a method to store complete meals in tiny capsules. The meals then expanded to full size when a special solution was applied. This technology was used by the Justice Society on a famine relief mission to Europe during World War II. In the late 1940s, Hawkman invented a bubble-shaped anti-gravity flying vehicle. Little if any use was made of this vehicle afterward, and it was not commercialized or mass-produced. Early in his career, Hawkman encountered and defeated another inventor working with anti-gravity technology, and confiscated one of his gravity-inducing weapons for future study. Tactical analysis. Leadership. Archaeology. Historiography. Multilingualism and animal empathy. Along with speaking several human languages, including Spanish, Hawkman has learned the language of the intelligent hawks of Hawk Valley. After working with these hawks for several years, he grew familiar with the language of the beasts, and could talk to wolves, bears, and deer. Weaknesses. Curse. Every time he is born again, he must wander the earth till he meets again with his eternal soul mate. But as soon as they form a deep bond, they are destined to be murdered again, and it continues.